Hi, good morning everybody. Okay, today we are still on the topic of time. All right, but today we are going to move a little bit more than o'clock. Okay, so I want everybody to take your clock that you have done, or you can use the small clock which I've already packed for you. Okay, so I'm using the clock that I did with you the other time. Okay, so just to refresh our memory, okay, just to revise a little bit like what we have done the other time. Okay, I want you to take note. Okay, first of all, your hour and minute hand, the minute hand is longer than the hour hand. That's one. Number two, the minute hand is the one that moving faster than the hour hand. Okay, the hour hand is moving very slowly. Okay, all right. And how do you actually show your o'clock? When you have your minute hand pointing at 12, always minute hand points at 12. The hour hand is the one, all right, pointing at all the other numbers. Okay, can everybody see this? Okay, can you tell me the time now? Do you guess 4 o'clock? Yes, awesome, you got it. Okay, so next I have like that. Right, can you tell me the time? Great job. Do you guess 10? Excellent. Okay, so now we move on. We no longer want to do o'clock. Now I want to show you a little bit. Okay, the other time I did mention that for every tiny lines, these are the minute. Okay, so you have here 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, and this is 5 minutes, and it continues. All right, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So can you see something here? You're actually reciting or using the 5 times table. All right, so from here 12 to 1 it will be 5 minutes, so that's 5. 1 to 2 it's 10. So I will just write it down here so that you can see that it's easier. So 12 to 1 is 5 minutes, so times table 5. 1 to 2 is 10 minutes. 2 to 3 is your 15 minutes there. Okay, 3 to 4 is your 20 minutes. 4 to 5 is 25. 5 to 6 is 30. 6 to 7 is 35. 7 to 8 is 40. 8 to 9, 45. 9 to 10, 50. 10 to 11, 55. 11 to 12, 60. All right, can everybody see that? Okay, so you are counting in fives. Okay, so it's actually 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and 60. All right, it's like what you see here. Can you see that? Okay, it's in your worksheet. So you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. And here it's again go back to 0 because it's already hits the 60. Okay? All right, so now let's take a look at how we are going to do our time. Okay? So now remember, this is your hour hand. Label it. All right, so just follow me. All right, so this is your hour hand and this is your minute hand. Now when you're telling time, the hour hand comes first. So hour hand first, followed by the minute. Okay, so in this case, this is 11. All right, how do you know? Because this hour hand, even though it's pointing not really at this bow line, but it's still within 11 to 12. So when it's within 11 to 12, you take that it is still 11 o'clock because it has not gone. It doesn't point at 12 and it doesn't go beyond or over 12. So it's still, even though it's like that, class, okay? Can you see? But it's still within 11. Between the 11 and 12, so it's still inside the space of 11. Okay? So the answer for this, right, is still 11. Okay, now minute hand. How do you tell the minute hand? You do your counting, so that's 5. Here will be 10, and it's pointing at here, right? So it's 15. So your answer is 11:15. Is everybody okay there? All right, let's try another one. Okay, and I will do it slowly for you. Okay, question, part B, okay? So let's take a look. Now always remember, okay, for time we start with the hour, then followed by the minute. Okay, it's not the other way. Okay, so hour is more important, so you start with the hour. And which one is the hour hand? Can you remember? Is it the long hand or the short hand? It's the short hand. Very good. So this is your hour hand. Now take a ruler. Now always do your dotted line for me. Can you do that? Alright, draw this dotted line. From the dotted line you see, okay, this space here is the space of 6 and 7. Alright, so what number you take? Do not take 7. Even though you say, but this one here, this hour hand is pointing very close to 7. So I shall take 7. No, you don't do that, okay? So even though it's very close to 7 and it's far from 6, but this space here is still the space for number 6. 7 space will be on this side. 7 to 8 is that space. So that will be 7. As long as the hour hand is not pointing at the number 7, it's not yet 7 o'clock. Is everybody okay? So this space here, right? So even though it's pointing very close to 7, but not yet at 7, so the hour hand is still a 6. Is everybody okay? Alright. So now, the minute hand. Now, minute hand, you have to count in 5s, okay? Your 5 times table. So that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Because the minute hand is pointing at 9, so that's dot dot here, 45. So your answer is 6:45. Okay, the time for this one is 6:45. Is everybody okay? Alright, let's do the next practice on the next page. That's C. Okay, again, alright, always start with hour, then your minute. So the hour hand is the one that is shorter. So this is the hour hand. So I'm going to draw the dotted line. Okay, so here, it's pointing, well, okay, slightly above, alright, slightly away from the bold line, but it's still within that space of 5 and 6, so it's still 5. It's 5. Okay? Right, so that's 5. Okay, now everybody counting the minute hand. So from 12 to 1, so this is 5. Now how do you write 5? Do you just write 5 like that? No. So this 5, right, because it must always have 2 digits here. It cannot be just 1. So you cannot write 5, 5. No. You have to write 5. So here is 0, 5. Like that. Is everybody okay? Because your minute hand, right, must always have 2 numbers. 2 numbers like that. So you cannot give me 5 dot dot 5. That's wrong. Is everybody okay? Alright, so you must fill it in because it's 5. There's no tens there. So you must put a 0 tens, 5 ones there. So it's 5, 505. Is everybody okay? Right. So let's move on to D. Alright, look at the hour hand first. So the shorter hand is my hour hand. This is my minute. So remember, hour hand starts first, then minute hand. So then your next step is to draw your dotted line from the arrow. Okay, now the dotted line, now it's between 9 and 10. This space is between 9 and 10. The arrow hand has not, the hour hand has not pointed at 10 yet, so you cannot take 10, so it's still 9. Okay, 9. How about your minute? So here is 5, 10, 15, and this is 20. So your minute is 20. So it's 9:20. Is everybody okay? Can you see that it must be 2 numbers for minute? So in this case, if it's 1 number like that, it's not correct. Okay, so you have to put a 0 and a 5. Okay? Right, let's move on to E. Again, which is the hour hand? Yes, the shorter. The shorter hand is the hour hand. So this is the minute. Always remember, start with hour hand. So start with the hour, then the minute. Okay, now take your ruler and draw the dotted line. Always use a ruler, okay? Very important that you have to use the ruler. Now, the space created here, alright, is actually between 1 and 2. Has the arrow pointed at 2? Not yet, so it's still 1. Is everybody okay? Alright, as long as the arrow doesn't point at 2, it cannot be 2, so it is still 1. Okay, even though it's closer to 2. Okay, now minute hand. So here will be your 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So it's 35 minutes. So it's 1:35. Now, as you can see, your 5 times table is very, very important here because it really helps you in your counting of minutes. Right, everybody? Okay, so the next question, all right, F. Again, which hand must you look first? Yes, you're right. The shorter hand, that's the hour. All right, and this is the minute. Okay. Now, always tell the hour first, okay? So, next step is to draw the dotted line. Now, as you draw the dotted line, you see that the space created between 2 and 3, the arrowhead hasn't pointed to 3 yet, so it has to be 2, okay? And the minute hand is your 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, and that's 40. So it's 40. So it's 2:40. Alright, everyone. Is everybody okay? Yeah? Alright, why not you try one question? Alright, I'm going to use my clock. Okay? I'm going to use my clock and I'm going to give you a question. You can just write it on the worksheet here at the bottom for your answer. Okay, so I'm going to show you one example. Let's say if I have my hour hand here and my minute hand on this side. Okay, now can you tell me the answer? What time is it on my clock? Alright, always remember, start with the hour hand, and my hour hand is the shorter hand. Now it's pointing, can you see, in between my 9 and 10, but is it pointing at 10? No, it is still at 9. So my hour hand, so I will write it here, my hour is to my minute. So my hour is still a 9. Okay, how about my minute? Can you see that it's pointing at 25 there? 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So my minute hand is 25. So my answer is 9:25. You get the same? 9:25? Do you want to try one more? Okay, I'm going to give you another question. Okay, let's say if I were to do this. Right, everyone? Okay, can you tell me the time now? Now, always remember, start with the hour hand, and the hour hand is the one with the shorter hand. So you have here, now it's pointing, all right, in between 12 and 1, okay? Now, it hasn't pointed to 1 yet. So do you take 1? No, you shouldn't. So you have to take 12, okay? So your hour hand, so here will be hour is to minute. My hour hand is to 12. Now, how about my minute? It's pointing at 40, all right? So my answer is 12:40. You get the same answer? Excellent. Do you want another one? Okay, one last one before, okay, before we move on to drawing of the hands of the clock. Okay, all right, next, let's say if I have this like that, what do you think the answer will be? Right, so I have, remember, the same thing. All right, same strategy, same method. Now I have my hour and minute. Always look at my hour first. Now this hour hand is pointing between 6 and 7. Has it pointed to 7 yet? Not yet. So cannot take 7, you got to take 6. So it's 6. How about my minute? My minute hand is the long one and is pointing at 30. So my answer is 6:30. Alright, so it's 6:30. Is everybody okay? So always remember, do the hour hand. And remember the hour hand, if it's not pointing at the next number, so it's still the number on the left. It's always the number on the left, okay? Is everybody okay now? Yeah, so in this case, alright, it's 6:30. Right? Okay, excellent. So now let's move on. I think the next part of it is drawing the minute hand for each clock. Okay? Now let's take a look. The hour hand is this. This is the hour hand. Okay? So the hour hand, now always remember, take your ruler, draw the dotted line to see. Alright, it's between 9 and 10. Doesn't touch 10, so it's still at 9. So that's 9. And the minute hand is at 3, so that's 15. So this is hour and minute here. So it's 9:15. Okay. Let's look at the next question. The next one, same thing. Okay. Let's look at the hour hand first. Now the hour hand, do the dotted line. Now can you see that it's very close to 8? But has it touches 8? Not yet. So you cannot say that it's 8 o'clock. Okay. So it's still 7. So now 55 is your minute. So how do you count? So here is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So I have to take from the middle to this bowl line here. Use your ruler. Now remember, this is minute hand, so you can draw it long. Draw it long because it's minute. Okay, hour hand, draw it short. Minute hand, draw long. Is everybody okay? Alright, so you can draw it like that. Okay, so that's your 7:55. Okay, next. Okay, you have here 11:35. Okay, let's take a look. Now, how do you know? This is hour hand, this is minute hand. Hour hand is the one that is pointing here. So draw your dotted line. Can you see that okay, it's between 11 and 12. It has not pointed at 12, so it's still 11. 35. So here will be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay, so that's 35. I stop there. From the center to this bowl line. Alright, what I do is minute hand, it can be long, so I draw a longer line. And I draw my arrowhead. So that's 11:35. Is everybody okay? Alright, part D now. Okay, part D, you have your hour hand and minute hand. So hour is 2. So as you can see here, so if I were to draw, okay, the dotted line. Okay, can you see that it's still between 2 and 3 and has not touched 3 yet? So this is absolutely correct. So it's 2. Now 50. So I count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So I stop there. From the center to the bowl line. So this is my 50. Now always remember to use your ruler, okay? The hands of the clock must be very straight. Alright, E. Hour hand, minute hand. So hour is 1. Now how do I know it's 1 there? Because it is there. Okay, between 1 and 2 space, but has not touched 2 yet. Alright, so is this space, so that's 1. How about 20? So it will be 5, 10, 15, 20. I stop there. From the middle to the bowl. So that's 20. Okay. And our last question here, hour hand and minute hand. Now the hour hand, okay, as you can see, I'm going to draw the dotted. Okay, So it's between 4 and 5. So obviously it has not pointed at 5 yet. So it's 4 o'clock. And minute hand will be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So I stop there. From the center to the bow line, straight and arrowhead. Okay? Alright, so that's how we draw our minute hand. Remember the rule, the hour hand is shorter than the minute hand. So when they want you to draw the minute hand, or make sure that the minute hand is drawn long, and also you have to count the minutes around. Okay, the hour hand is the one that is moving very slowly. So if it's between 4 and 5, always take the number 4. Okay, if it's between 5 and 6, it's number 5. 6 and 7 is number 7. Why? Because it has not pointed at the next number. So it is still within the smaller number. Okay, everybody? Alright, fantastic. So we are done. So I see you next for the next practice. Okay? Alright, goodbye.